Hey people, welcome to another video reacting to this that I just found, the FAL, the right arm of the free world in Ukraine. I'll have more content regarding the ongoing financial crisis, banks, stocks, it's all getting quite hot, but I want to share with you this because it's always interesting to see the FAL in action, especially in the ongoing war in Ukraine.
It's a year since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. And since last February, we've seen a massive influx of Western weapons into Ukraine.
Yeah,
we've
all
seen
sorts.
everything from artillery to infantry weapons, and the breadth of small arms has ranged from brand new Polish MSBS Grots and M4A1s
nice scope there.
to M14s.
Good rifle.
In recent months, another Cold War icon has begun to appear in imagery from the fight.
Lots of rocket launchers. You see people using lots of rocket, and because it's one of these wars unlike the kind we've seen I mean, probably in many of our lifetimes, for most of us, usually you see something where there's a huge disparity of force. You see, the United States going into a Middle Eastern country where, you're fighting peasants, people that are very limited in the technology that they have available, still they can win, proven time and again. I mean, in Afghanistan, we saw what happened with the United States. In Afghanistan, we also saw what happened with Russia. So that's why it's surprising to see people that think that that Russia has to win. Well, they've lost before against far less impressive opposition. So has the United States.
Often described as the right arm of the free world.
Yeah. That's such a cool
both
name.
Standard fixed stock and folding stock FALs have been seen in use.
That's my favorite.
Though
one.
appearances are relatively rare. The first sightings of FALs came in June 2022, when two photos of
nice Glock knife there by the handle. Lots of Glock knives. They're affordable in Europe because they are made in Europe. The Glock knife is made in Austria. And for 20, 30 bucks you can find it. So they ship them over there for folks in the fight.
Fixed stock 50.00 metric pattern type 3 FALs were shared.
It's
the first
like mine
in the second
there.
week of June, and the second at the end of the month. The second photograph was posted by Ukrainian combatants in the Mykolaiv region. It's possible that both of these rifles may have been civilian-owned weapons pressed into service. It's impossible to know for sure. The most common variant in open source imagery is currently the 50.61 or ParaFAL, with a side folding stock and a full-length 53cm or 21-inch barrel. The rifles could also be the visually identical 50.64, which has an
yeah, the Congo variant, the one I like the most, 16-inch barrel, folding stock, perfect.
Receiver, though this variant is less common. All of the rifles seen in the photographs have Type 3 receivers, which date them to post-1973 production. Sadly, photographs of the weapons' serial number ranges aren't available.
Nah, maybe it's a good thing.
A photograph of several crates of these,
nice,
still in their plastic wrapping, was shared in early October. This is potentially the first sighting of the folding stocked rifles in Ukraine. In late November, a photograph of 5 ParaFALs in the same sort of crate was shared and said to have been taken near Bakhmut.
It is a heavy gun, but man, does it have like a lot of punching power.
On the 10th of December, Dmytro Machnik, a commander of a mortar platoon with the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Unit fighting around Bakhmut, shared his first photograph with his ParaFAL. I contacted Dmytro and he was kind enough to share his thoughts on the rifle.
Cool.
He explained that he liked the rifle and has only had one stoppage. He said it jammed a cartridge case once in an intense fight, but the problem was quickly resolved. He also explained that he really likes the 7.62x51 round.
Yeah.
And on operations he was able to carry up to 9 magazines for the rifle. He confirmed that the rifles are select fire, and when I asked him about ammunition availability, Dmytro said there's some available, but it can't be found everywhere.
Well, that's many of the things that address the topic of the utility of this kind of gun for survivalist preppers. 308, 762, you're very likely to find it. It's still used by many designated shooters in your M14, M1A1 variants, in your Remington 700 variants. What is it, like M21? So it's a NATO round. It's found everywhere, and it has a lot of punching power. I was watching a lot of footage of the war recently. There was this thing where they were shooting at each other through a wall in one of these buildings, not one of these wood frame walls. No, it was like brick, and the 223 just didn't cut it. A FAL would have been great to have in that case.
He said that so far he's only seen the FALs in use with elements of his own unit,
Yeah.
and he opted for the FAL to replace his AK-74 when he joined the unit.
Right arm of the free world, baby.
On the 22nd of December, Dimitro shared a photograph of a parafal which had its fore end and stock covered in fur. I asked him about this, and he explained that my sergeant decided to disguise the rifle for winter. He partially painted it white and glued on a light fur found among the garbage in Bakhmut. On the 30th of December, several Ukrainian personnel shared an update video from Bakhmut, in which one of the soldiers can be seen carrying a parafal.
New mags and new rifles. Those are pretty nice. Those are pretty new. At least new looking. Great condition. But the mags, those are nice. Usually you find them beaten up.
Several days later, in early January 2023, the same soldier shared another short video filmed in the town square of Bakhmut. Again, the FAL can be seen.
Yeah, folding stock, there it is. Nice rear sight, because there's one that has like a little
Our most recent sighting
thing
of a fixed stock FAL came on the 31st of December, when another Ukrainian combatant shared a photograph holding a 50.00 FAL, with some scrim wrapped around the butt.
Short mag, is a 10-round mag?
And a bipod attached. He wished to remain anonymous when I contacted him, but he was kind enough to share his thoughts on the FAL as well. He explained that he was issued the FAL instead of a 7.62 by 51 UAR-10 rifle, and that he was the only member of his company to be issued one. He was also issued a thermal Thor 4 optic with the rifle, but no means of mounting it. He was also only provided with 2 10-round magazines.
2 10-round magazines, going to war with an FAL and having just 2 10-round magazines. That is a pain in the ass, man. You know, someone send this guy a few mags.
But even without the optic, he said that as a marksman, you can work a maximum of 500 meters, and it hits quite accurately with single shots.
Yeah,
automatic fire gives a very large spread, very loud. Commenting on the rifle itself, he noted that he believes the rifle dated to 1976, and that while cool and a little unusual, it was picky, afraid of dirt, and he noted that once dropped in a swamp, the action almost did not work.
Yeah.
He also felt that it was a little too heavy compared to the AK, and he also pointed out that it's very long and not convenient when storming.
Right, that's why you want the shorter one, the Congo variant, the 16-inch one with a folding stock. It just makes it so much more convenient. Fold it, you move around a lot more comfortable. It is a heavy gun. You're not going to be working around that compared to an M4. But then again, you have the stopping power. Maybe a gun to keep in your vehicle as moving around. If you have to go fast and light, yeah,
buildings.
Go with something else.
Concluded, in my opinion, it's already outdated and not practical, and often very inconvenient. I can say...
Not surprised he thinks like that, given that he has 2 10-round magazines. That is a kick in the balls.
I see why he'd think that, having been issued only 2 10-round magazines.
Exactly.
The most recent photograph of a FAL dates from the 15th of January, when Dimitro posted a photo holding his FAL aloft, with the caption, "The unconquered Bakhmut stands." It's unclear who provided the rifles to Ukraine, as numerous nations around the world have fielded similar variants. In Europe, these include Belgium, Greece, Luxembourg, Portugal, and the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Most of these, however, have long since replaced them in service. If Belgium, one of the most likely candidates, provided the rifles, then they've been in store since the late 1990s.
That's the point about people, oh, it's not reliable. Well, it's probably greased to crap and it hasn't been cleaned properly. So many things have a lot to do with the condition of the gun itself. There's people out there that think that the AK-47 is not reliable because you don't know what I've seen in the Middle East. Yeah, probably you saw some shitty piece of crap that is not a good indicator of what the design, the platform itself is capable of in good, proper working order. Same with some of these guns. They were probably in storage for decades, all greased up with backlight or whatever crap they put in there, and you have to clean it properly. That's something that doesn't come off easily. That's not a gun store gun. It has to be cleaned.
Special thanks to Dimitro and the other anonymous Ukrainian combatants for answering my questions about their FALs. Dimitro's details can be found in the description box below. Thanks also to the guys at Shrieking Delilah on Instagram.
And by the way, the channel, there you have the Armorer's Bench. Look it up. There's you'll find the links to these guys that need all the help they can get.
Been doing great work on documenting some of the plethora of weapons turning up in Ukraine. So far, of the 3 major Cold War battle rifles, we've only seen the M14, check out my video on that if you haven't already, and the FAL. But I'm yet to see any sign of HKG3s.
Awesome. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I want to do a video reaction watching along with you for the first time. There you go. Again, remember that given everything going on with the banking system, you definitely want to get this one, Surviving the Economic Collapse, and Street Survival Skills. Links for those are also there, available below in the description of the channel. Take care.